Well, the State Department says much of the funding for Africa-based terror groups comes from animal poaching and other criminal enterprises. In Central Africa, authorities have linked the illegal ivory trade to the Lord's Resistance Army and other groups. When you add ethnic tensions and poor governance to the mix, it unleashes a vicious cycle of events. Conservationists say a surge in poaching, fueled by growing Asian demand for ivory, is responsible for a spread of cross-border criminal activities, including the poaching of elephants, particularly in Cameroon, the Central African Republic, Chad, and Gabon. The United Nations is now linking the illegal ivory trade to the notorious rebel group Lord's Resistance Army, LRA. Abu Musa is the UN Secretary General for Central Africa.
The issue of poaching is another emerging and rapidly growing phenomenon that has the potential to impact negatively on an already challenging peace and security situation in some parts of the sub-region. Over the past 5 months or so, there have been increasing and at times alarming reports underscoring the gravity posed by this threat.
LRA leader Joseph Kony, who fought the Ugandan government for nearly 2 decades before being ejected from the north of the country around 2005, is now wanted by the International Criminal Court, ICC. A 5,000-strong African Union force backed by 100 U.S. Special Forces, helping with intelligence and logistical support, is hunting Kony's LRA rebels who now roam the jungles that straddle the borders of Central African Republic, South Sudan, and Democratic Republic of Congo. Impoverished but mineral-rich Central African Republic was plunged into turmoil in March when rebels charged into the capital and ousted President Francois Bozize. The U.S. urged that AU-mandated troops hunting for the LRA in CAR must continue despite the crisis in the country.
The United States believes that counter-LRA operations under the AU's Regional Task Force should resume as soon as possible. We welcome the CAR transitional government's assurances that counter-LRA operations will continue through the AU Regional Task Force. Further suspension of military operations in the CAR could allow the LRA to reorganize and further endanger civilians.
In East Africa, Somali insurgent group Al-Shabaab remains the State Department's primary terrorist threat. And in West Africa, the report says there is evidence that Boko Haram may be developing financial and training links with transnational violent extremists.